I used to think my house was haunted. It began with small, almost courteous things, knocks in the middle of bland Tuesday afternoons. A pair of socks folded and placed on the mantel. My coffee mug moved an inch to the left. Those little interruptions felt like a companion in a house that had been too quiet since I moved in. The house itself seemed to breathe. The floorboards sighed at night like someone pacing in another room. I told myself that was normal. I told my friends. They came, tested the walls, laughed at the sound of a hollow spot. "You're not crazy," they said. "It's old wiring. Raccoons? Mice." The knocking became a greeting. When I opened the front door after work, there was a soft tap, tap, tap against the wall beside it. 3 precise, patient beats. I'd say, "Hey." And sometimes I'd even talk when I made dinner, half expecting a reply. It made the house feel less empty, like there was another presence keeping the loneliness at bay. Then it stopped. For 3 days there was nothing. No rearranged shoes, no polite knocking. The silence was heavier than anything I'd known in that house, so thick I could taste it. Then the smell started in the kitchen. Slow, insidious, like something that had been marinating for months. It wasn't just bad. It was a memory of rot, of iron and old earth. It took over the pantry shelves, climbed the stairs, leaked under the bedroom door, until sleep was impossible. I sprayed everything. I opened windows. I pretended the smell was a faulty pipe. I called a remodeling crew on a Wednesday. They came with flashlights and boxes of tools. The foreman cut a small inspection hole in the drywall near the pantry and went quiet. His hand froze. "Oh, God," he said, then ran outside and vomited into the yard. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. Inside the wall, on a narrow ledge between pipes and studs, lay a man curled around himself like someone trying to hold in the world. The skin had a gray, waxen sheen. His clothes were thin with dust and old stains. He had a hospital bracelet, looped like a ghost's bracelet around his wrist. Police cracked the house open like a walnut. They found a tangle of hidden crawl spaces behind closets and vents, narrow passages that ran like veins from room to room. One led to the vent in my office. He'd been able to slip out when the front door opened, trail across the house unseen. They identified him as Michael Johnson, 47, the man who had lost this house to foreclosure 3 years before I bought it. The coroner said cancer had taken him. He could have gone to a hospital. He could have been helped. Instead, he stayed in the walls until the smell finally announced him. Everyone said the right things about tragedy and privacy and the invisible tragedies that happen in plain sight. I felt sick with a different weight, a kind of shame that had nothing to do with blood and everything to do with absence. Those polite knocks? Maybe they were not ghostly pleasantries, but urgent signals I misread as whimsy. Maybe he tapped nearest the door because he wanted out, wanted help. I had comforted myself with jokes while a man died where I kept my sugar and birthday cards. 6 months passed. The police left. The house settled, or pretended to. I tried to repair the holes, to plaster over the memory. Friends visited less. The rooms felt larger and yet narrower, as if every wall held a memory now. Last night, a knocking woke me. It was on my bedroom door. 3 taps. Slow. Deliberate. I sat up, heart a-fist, remembering the pantry, the foreman's face, the hospital bracelet still lodged in my memory like a pebble. I went to the door and pressed my ear to the wood. There was a breath on the other side, too close to be the wind. I used to think my house was haunted. Now I know it is.